just gonna have to deal with it. We'll just keep moving on. How are you? How are you doing? I'm doing good. How am I doing? I don't know. I've been pretty busy, but guess busy's good, you know. So we are just getting started here after a long day of real work. We're gonna do some fake work. My favorite kind. Perfect. All right, we have the YouTube going. We got the Twitch going. And I've got a message from work on the left. Oh no. My team, we're trying to get okay. Oh. Good evening. That is a great question. I want to be able to help beyond linking to the docs. Are we all AI brained yet? Unfortunately, we are all AI brained in some way or another. I'm feeling it. I'm not feeling I'm not happy about it. I'll tell you that. I'm not happy about it. We are getting AI'd from every direction at my work. I've got vibe coders all around me. So, what can you do? Except you give in and you just put up the slop ops. I am now a slop ops engineer. That's what we're gonna say. But maybe it'll work out. Maybe it'll just be good. There we are. I'm still resisting. You and me both. You and me both. Let's resist. We'll be the last ones that can pry my keyboard out of my cold, well, hopefully still warm hands. I will not give in. The tools are useful, but I would prefer them not to take over. So, good evening, sir. Dan, you're programming. Programming is my job. How do I keep my eyes from melting? Good question. I have extremely dry eyes. I have to use eye drops. That's probably not the answer I should give. Flopping the church from YouTube. Didn't know you had a YouTube channel. Yeah, I've got both. You can see the chat. Let me know how this chat is. If it's big enough, I can increase the size. But that is the incoming chat for both platforms. And we've had a lot of growth on YouTube. So, but yeah, we have a most people know me from either one. It doesn't matter. But yeah, how do I keep my eyes from melting? That's a great question. A little bit of work, exercise, helps a little bit. So I'm on the treadmill. There might be a Slack channel that this person can try. I have 3, 5, 12 different screens. One of these is work. We keep very good separation between our work computer and our play computer, which is very, very important. It's called good ops, sec ops, security ops, security operations. Otherwise you'll need to reach out. Ask IT or Jira or other channel. Hello, Andrew P. Good evening. We are just getting set up. We are on the treadmill today. Gonna get some exercise. We're gonna get some coding done. Today, I think I really I want to go in and redo our pickup component. The pickup component is responsible for picking things up, interacting. I want to learn Godot so bad, can't even wrap a head around nodes, and that's pretty much how the whole thing about Godot it feels. Yeah, I mean, if you could be more specific about what about nodes is confusing or what you're having trouble with, I can recommend some early tutorials because Godot is really fun and really easy to learn. So you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And I did it many years ago. I started, what, 3 years ago now? So we all start somewhere, right? So whatever your current ability to do it, don't let it stop you. Don't let it intimidate you because it's really fun. And I started with 2D, so I haven't always done 3D. What are your thoughts on composition versus inheritance? What a nice question. Yeah, I'm not a big inheritance fan, but it can be useful in certain circumstances. But Godot is often about composition, uh, creating a component system. So I have on this side an interact component, a pickup component. I also have like a buoyancy component. So when I play the game, we should just go ahead and show that real quick. Just a very fast demo. So in my little world, I have components like a pickup component. And what that allows me to do is provide functionality to a thing that doesn't inherit from anywhere, right? So this fish has a pickup component. And the pickup component has a label for the fish and a couple things it requires, but you just pick up. And that's true of the fishing rod as well. It also has the ability to be picked up. And the other cool thing that you can do is that there's not really a limit on what you can place a pickup component on, including other players. So this player can be tossed and thrown, and this pickup component is driving this ability to like have a preview of that arc. Give me that fish. So gotta get some sound here. I don't have many. Let's use my AirPods. This will probably die while we're online. And how do you enforce the requirements? I don't know. There's a couple of good videos on composition. So we're going to try to follow some of the patterns there. But you can see that you can assign functionality a lot easier than having something like inheritance. It just becomes a lot more flexible. I'll try to keep them like one concern. I don't know. I'm not really great at it yet, but as I do it, I get better. But here I've got I developed these a carry component, and that's a little bit like a pickup component. I was saying the word pickup, but I changed it to carry because I based it on another framework that uses the word carry. That kind of then we have an interact area. This is handling if detecting an interactable. And then this interact component is more generic version of pickup component or carry component. See, I'm already confusing myself a little bit, but another project we can look at while we do this is the Cogito project. My biggest main issues is all they go to the main, or they have a scenes floating around that get referenced. Yeah, you could do both. You could do either one. But yeah, you can see a list of components. They have currency chat, a hitbox component, impact sounds component. So you can definitely do a good job of composing things this way. But yeah, you do always have like a main scene when you play a game of any sort. If we look in this left corner, we can get this remote root. So everything is in here, including this main menu. And just nice tree. You can access any of these things that are in the game tree. So the game tree, this top level window, that's the root that we see right here. And then you can see these control nodes. So it's nodes all the way down. And then when you make a new scene, you either add it, you say in the script, add child, new scene, right? And then when I add a whole player in here, you see the root has changed completely. Oh, so yeah, we can actually open up when you're playing a game, you can open up the remote scene on the left here. And then you can open up these nodes and just look at, there's the player right there. And you can see all the nodes that are within him. So yeah, when you can either you can add a scene like a new collision shape. You just add it right in there, or you can add it with code, add child, such and such node. And so this player has all these nodes: strength attribute, sanity attribute, stamina, health attribute. And the way Cognito does is like it has a UI, and the UI will loop through the player and detect each one of these attributes and then create the necessary health and stamina and sanity. So I also have collision shapes turned on here so I could see how all this works, but that is a raycast that's coming out of our face to target interactions. So the way they do it is if I sit, you can see that, let's see. Yeah, you see how when I got up, you could see the raycast from the side? Yeah. So the raycast is like a little square almost, or a cube that goes out into the distance. So we can model ours off of that. So he's got auto pickup zone, and they've got even some nice custom icons that they've done. How strict do you get with composition? Do you handle death logic in your health component? Yeah, so that's a great question too. I typically use signals. So the health component would have a death signal as part of its thing, and it would emit the signal, and then anyone can listen to that. Like the UI can listen to that, or a game manager or a scorekeeper can listen to a death signal happening. And do something with it. For instance, I do have a health updated signal as well. So every time someone takes damage, I emit health updated with the health, and then the UI will. There's nothing in the fridge. Oh yeah, I want this. Health potion would update based on that signal. So signals are awesome because you can just broadcast them, and then as many people or as few can sign up to. There we go. A health up. Very nice. Is this sound on? It's really low. Let's get that sound up a little bit. It's a big change coming from Game Maker Studio, so a little curve. Yeah, but they build up from very small foundations, so yeah. Yeah, I like to look at other projects and see how they do it. There's no one right way to do it either, right? But there's a event bus where you have some global signals can help. So how do you communicate between two different areas of the tree? Well, you can hook them up to a global and emit a signal on the global, and then anyone can listen to it, that sort of thing. Global event signal. This is helpful for, you don't want to have too much state in your global, but it's great for game jams for sure. Smaller games. And what ends up happening is you architect it one way and you say, oh, you know what, this is really annoying, this didn't work so well, and then you architect it a different way because you learned a lot. And that's kind of what happened with this carry component piece that I'm probably going to port into my current project. I just need to rethink it a little bit because the project we're looking at has the concept of wieldables as well, and wieldables are like a gun, or in my case, a fishing rod. So you can see I have the throw ability to like attempt throw, that sort of thing. I do that too, except mine's all multiplayer as well, so it's another thing, another layer of complexity as well, because I have to check who owns the object as well instead of just who's carrying it. Because you don't want to throw something that someone else is holding. But yeah, so if you're coming from something like Game Maker, which is, you know, different, you can look up our friend Brackeys on YouTube. You could go Brackeys, Godot, and they used to make Unity tutorials, but now they teach Godot as well, and they even have a 3D one that's really good. I watched that. I liked the lighting one. That one was great, but these beginner ones from Brackeys are going to be your best bet. And then there's some ones that make like a 2D game. I like someone called Heartbeast Godot. I've used theirs. And then there was a Heartbeast has this action tutorial. I really like that. That's where I really cut my teeth. And then there was a composition. Let's see if I can find the video. So I think it was this one. Mastering composition. Let's see if this is it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Coder's Road. In this video, we're going to be mastering composition in Godot.
This is the same
First,
creator, but
I'm
a
going to
new
explain the concepts.
video.
Then we'll open up a...
I think. I really do want to find this now because I might need to. Hey, look, it's me. Haha. We're having fun now, aren't we? Components Godot. It's not go to nears. I don't think that was a compositor is a different thing than composition. I think it might be this one. I might have watched this whole thing. Let me just triple check here.
in the backpack.
Yeah,
if you want them to be a mage, you swap your sword for a staff.
I don't know if
Godot,
I finished
each item
this.
in that backpack
That could be a
is
good thing
separate
to
node.
do. So I'll also paste this. Yeah, not hard. And for the Twitch users, what? I know I'm not ready for a multiplayer, but I was watching your FriendSwap tutorial and want to move clients around different maps, like you're making an exploration type game. Oh, interesting, interesting. Everything I've seen ever stops at making multiplayer live that moves a host of client to a single map and always me. Great point, friend. Great point. So, let's just switch back to our fishing prototype, and I will absolutely show you how to do that. So the key is that you want to clean it up. You want to clean up the level, swap level, spawn level. So the one tricky part, and the reason why nobody wants to do it, is because when you have a host and they have an established session, they have all the information about what level you're on. So if I say go to my other level, and I'm going to load level real quick without another player, and I'm here, I'm in this demo level here, and then I swap back to the fish level. Those are two different places. That's state that the server is going to need to communicate to this client who is now going to join. They're going to find the list. Awesome game. I'll join 1 out of 4. There we go. All right, so we see them in there. And I was actually testing the kick and the ban function. You are kicked. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this stuff in the upcoming videos. But it's a pretty advanced topic. But what we want to do is we tell him, yay, we're on the fish level today. And then we need to clean everything up and send us over to the other level. So we've got that working, but we do not have a tutorial out, but you can see it happen right here. Yeah, that's something I got working over the weekend. So my traditional pattern is that I kind of dog food it, test it out first, and then once it's all ready to go, at that point I break it up, make it simple, share it with everyone. And that's the part that you'll see me working on in this stream. So one strategy I want to do is I want to delete the players, all of them, and respawn them, which is just a little different. Because right now they kind of just randomize their positions. How about you start a game jam for your viewers? Yeah, I mean, I participate in game jams. I'm not really like in a position where I can like host a game jam, but I encourage you guys to go and seek one of the billions of game jams that are out there. If you want to jam, they are out there. There is the Godot Wild Jam, which is kind of the official Godot monthly jam. Jam number 92 was Brewing Fuel. Very much, yeah, this is great. These are great modifiers, so check out Godot Wild. Or find another team. I would like to jam more. I just jammed recently, that's why I'm getting back into this, so. Both clients move to the same map. That's sort of wondering. Let's say you have one player that like wants to fish there at the lake, and the other player, haha, yeah, okay. You've got the tough questions, Mr. Cooking with Gas, or you can do that. When if you go back in some of my older video, I have a video that's about Godot multi-level multiplayer demo. So what this does is here it is. Cool set of methods. So I broke the rules for Godot multiplayer. Players split into two separate worlds. The short answer is you should not do that. You should have everyone on the same place. The long answer is that you might have an MMO or something where you do want people to fish and go to a cave entirely separately. You've got to split those people up, and there are many ways to do that. And one of the ways is remote visibility. So hiding updates, hiding those players, but they still exist on the same server. And there's a lot of tricks for that. I don't recommend it, but it's here. Go check it out later if you feel like watching a 7-minute video about it. You can also sub viewport. Yeah, like this person said, I need to try that out. And there are good reasons to do it if your game design requires it, but it's an advanced topic, and I don't recommend doing it as a first try. Instantiate a new scene far away. That is absolutely one of the ways to do it. You can run into some problems there where you're spawning things and they're spawning in the middle of the map and everyone sees it for a second and then it teleports elsewhere. Stuff like that. You know, it's a little awkward. But yeah, you could definitely have them running somewhere else. I might even recommend that approach. Yeah, like Squeaky Clean said. That's definitely a good one. And you can also combine methods, like they mentioned draw distance, but that video goes over basically syncing distance, like sending multiplayer updates. You may not want to send multiplayer updates to people that are far away. And so the way I did it was categorizing based on what level they're in, but you could also do it on distance, like over 50 meters away, do not get updates. Games like Fortnite will do this. They will reduce the frequency of updates for distant players, or CS:GO will try to do this where they don't send updates about things you can't see to prevent fog of war cheating, that sort of stuff. So it's there. It's just advanced topics, right? Just all depends on what type of game and what type of mechanics you want to support. Yeah, absolutely. We're all curious here. I mean, half the stuff that I do is a result of the curiosity about game dev in general. So, I mean, that's where all this stuff comes from. Yeah, and there's no one right way to do it either. Like, in fact, there's usually many ways. The one thing I've got to think about is that I currently have a box for interaction, where that box is facing here. So if I put myself between this camera and there, in the raycast method, I would pick up this fishing rod. But in the box method, I could like be like right on something, and then I don't pick it up until my guy is facing. So would you expect to be able to turn away from something but still be able to pick up a fish? Like, I'm not getting any highlights for any of these items because my box, see that box isn't facing them. So should I change this interact area? Because the interact area is pretty good. If I'm facing this fish, I can pick it up. You can see his kind of cone-shaped, slightly off-centered collision shape there. Always kind of thought game dev was a misnomer. I mean, yeah, software engineering in general, right? I think game dev has some unique challenges that makes it distinct from software engineering. So, in fact, like, I kind of argue that game dev is kind of the end game of software engineering. It's some of the hardest stuff you could do. Like, maybe besides like distributed asynchronous Kubernetes zookeeper shit, maybe that could be slightly harder. But you're actually doing that with multiplayer, adding in a asynchronous distributed nature. So I'm probably saying game dev is appealing in complexity for a lot of people, because now don't let me discourage you, because it can be simple, but I do think there's a lot of cool no, my fish fell through the map again. That's a problem I haven't been able to solve yet, because we have these like physics bodies, and if I step on them, they go right through the ground. So I need like a thicker ground to prevent that tunneling, which is pretty difficult. So I've got to figure that out too. That's on my to-do list. Yeah, the way art and functionality interacting in game is really complex, but shmup players have a shoot 'em up, or what is shmup players? Yeah, F fighting game members have very strong feelings about multiplayer. Shmup, shoot 'em up. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's plenty of room for exploration. You know, even in those genres. But yeah, the people, like when it comes to netcode, yeah, netcode is the great thing is that I don't make competitive games, and I don't recommend solo devs make competitive games, because you're essentially signing up for years of work. So, you know, if you look at the Overwatch team, there's like 300 developers over 5 years or something like that to make a competitive game. 7 years for Arc Raiders or something like that. You know, the big team. So if that's the type of game you want to make, I mean, you can. I will make a fighting game without rollback netcode just fine. Just that they are not my audience. And if you want to do that, you know, there is NetFox, which is a plugin for Godot. I don't care if they complain. The game's not for them. You can get 0 reviews from me. I'll make a silly fighting game where you're a blob. Like, this doesn't have any rollback netcode. Functions mostly. There's lots of different requirements for a game, but I don't think that it's an absolute. And then if you are curious, like there is like a talk on, there's lots of netcode talks on YouTube, like Rocket Science. Actually, it is Rocket Science from the science of the physics of Rocket League. So that's a very complex rollback. I don't know. I don't think that's true. I think there's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of. Now, if you're talking about competitive games, yeah. But again, like, I guess there's a competitive community that does not interest me. That's just something I'm not going to sign up for. Fighting anti-cheat, that sort of thing. And I played competitive games for most of my life, but I'm absolutely not interested in making one as an indie developer. I think that's kind of insanity. So at least I can draw the line somewhere, make casual games. So we have a Friend Gym casual. So what's on the to-do list? I think we were gonna like replace the pickup component with a more robust solution. I think that's the top of the list, and solve for different types of interaction. So we're gonna noodle on that. We're gonna sit down here and the pickup component has an alternative, and Cogito is the other one, the immersive sim template. Let's move to Codeberg. I have GitHub. And we want to have a pickup component that's usable by our friends out there in tutorial land, because that's pretty important. Here's carry component. Burnt out right now programming. Feel like I spent 4 days getting this work, not happy with it. Yeah. Were you walking too? I am walking. I am walking on a treadmill. I'm gonna sit down in a sec, but I'm not going anywhere. But I've gone 1.5 miles. Yeah, I mean, burnout is real. You know, sometimes you can kind of change the medium you're working in. You could do some art instead, or you could do something else. But obviously taking a break is a good idea. And if you've done something one way, you will always do it better the second time. If you take another shot at it, it's going to feel better. That's kind of where this code that we're looking at has gone, because we have this interact component, we have this pickup, this carry component. I keep saying pickup, just I say carry. Ahoy! Ahoy. I think this is going to work pretty good. Set owner peer ID. All right, I got a phone call real quick. I'll be right back. Mute this thing. Alrighty. What are we doing here now? So I am using some form of inheritance here. So I have an interact component that extends a physics body 3D. And I only declare these two things, which is interact and interact secondary. Starting off with Godot, I think Brachy's Godot is a really gentle tutorial. This beginner one, like, you know, you can go through it a little bit faster if you watch it at 1.5 speed or something like that. The GDScript one is really nice. What's nice about GDScript is that it's mostly about using predefined functions. It's like when I have some water, I know it's this item here and I can command click on it. And I know that all of these functions here, bake, active, blend, all these things are available, and I can just go water dot position. I know position's on there equals 0, you know, or water dot visible. And those are functions and methods and properties. You can set visible, false, and it pops up with the Boolean value, true or false, so you know what to put in there. Set visible, and if you put something stupid in there, it'll tell you. So that makes it really easy. Hmm. Have you played with shaders in Godot for the data-driven stuff? I've only edited shaders a little bit. Like, I don't, for data-driven stuff, I know you can put a lot on the GPU if you need to make thousands of something, but it limits the ways in which it can be interactable. So I typically don't take the mesh instance 3D. So in Godot, we have mesh instance 3D, multi-mesh instance 3D. This will put everything on the GPU and kind of like a shader. But there's a limitation on what you can do in terms of collision shapes there, and you have to do some custom work. But I'm not much of a shaders person yet. It's something I want to get more into, but we're going to clear some of this out here. Yeah, that's cool. You should keep doing that if it interests you. I mean, This might be a cop out, but you know, I love to just go to Godot shaders, browse these guys, and just like find cool ones. You know, sometimes the ones come up to the top like this. JPEG artifacting. So you can just copy these. Yeah, it's pretty nice. This is pretty cool. This additive volume integral got a lot of. And then there's another one on here that basically does SPOM clipping. So this is like in Crimson Desert. So what it does is it changes the silhouette of the object based on the height map. And I got it to work a little bit, but it actually, I don't know what I'm doing. I think it looks pretty weird. So I don't use it. But here I've got an issue where I've got these levels that have ambient CG textures. So I'm thinking about just getting rid of those. I don't want, I think they're just too big. Cleaning up. Boy, I love to delete stuff. I'll tell you that. I've got 2 fish in here. I want to kill one of the fish. Nope. Yeah, we have 2 fish. Here's a second fish. Kill that fish. Nothing better than deleting shit. This is one of the things I wanted to do was do buoyancy. Yeah, it's literally this. So here we've got to think a second because I don't know that I can have a parent override. One thing we can do is use some AI. It's a new world out there. We've got to keep up. Here we are. How do you feel about using third-party plugins? Typically, they're available on GitHub with an MIT license, which means you can do what you feel like. So I currently depend heavily on a unmaintained plugin called Tube. Let's see if there's been any activity. Yeah, so Tube's great. It's a nice, lightweight, good API. And this is one that I've considered forking a couple times. I think, have I forked this yet? I'm pretty sure I've forked this already. So let's create a fork there. The reason why is that there are a couple things that are broken, and it does not seem like our friend has paid much attention to it, so I can simply do that. Now, if it disappears or happens to not meet my needs, I can just go in here, and one thing I want to remove is the UP&P, Universal Plug and Play, is no longer very useful. So cool. So this is an interesting pattern. I don't know how we feel about this, but um, what the Cogito object does, and again, Cogito was that immersive sim template that we were looking at. It will find children with this pattern and register them in a way. So once it finds an interaction node, what does it do with them? It sets them. So here's our node data. So we save those. And do we do anything? Grabs all attached interaction components. We have not done that. Do we signal to them or? Components. Look at this components folder. Backpack. Is a backpack component? Huh? That's fucking cool. Is it an inventory or not? I don't know. Base class for any interactions based on signal was interacted with, interaction text, and the input map action. This looks sick. Yeah, so let me open up another. I think I can just go to the Cogito project and have this. I'm looking at it in this view because I might ask the AI a couple of questions about it. But it does look sick because it's very good and well tested. And it's a long running, very cool project that I like to learn from. It's called the Cogito Immersive Sim Template. And you can find this on Codeberg. And I do like to basically look at a object like, I think they have like a box or a crate. Let's see. Cardboard box. Okay, let's see. There it is. Carryable box. Here it is. So this is similar to kind of stuff that I like to do. And they have some components, and we were talking about component driven architecture where they have this high level Cogito object. This is the type of thing. And now what they do is they create a new rigid body 3D, and then they attach a script, and they go look and they get a Cogito components. They go Cogito object, and then they search for, this is a terrible view, Cogito object. And what that does is change the icon from a rigid body. It's still a rigid body underneath, but then it opens up all these things like display, the name, the display name, where does the prompt appear, the prompt marker, object shape and size. Like, these are useful things, right? And then it also has the rigid body property. So if I go up to the real one, you can see that it is a rigid body 3D with a mass of this. Now, inside of it, and I'm kind of talking this through, I don't need the AI to talk through it, right? Carryable component is placed on that box. It's placed right there, and then it has a pickup sound, and I duplicated this in mine. You heard the sound sometimes. Drop sound, I just used the same sound and just downshifted it a little bit. And then carryable while wielding. This is interesting because now we have the property wielding, so we have to look at that. Carry distance offset, you can shove it forward. I copied that as well with mine. Lock rotation while carried, that's a nice one. Carrying velocity multiplier, so how fast the carryable object is being pulled towards the carrying position, the lower the floatier it'll feel. Nice. Drop distance, how far it'll be. Manual. So that is just one component in this carryable box. And then they probably have these, do they have these meshes separately so that it like breaks apart? I wonder. Oh no, they just built their own collision. They just built their own thing. That's what they did, just made some mesh. So none of that matters. And then the next thing in line is the Cogito properties. Cogito properties: conductive, flammable, wet, material properties, soft. It is conductive and flammable. Of those, burn parameters, electricity parameters. So you can see how powerful a component there is for properties. That's pretty cool. It has a scene where you have spawn on ignite, spawn on wet, spawn on electrified, and so these are defaulted to. audio. So you can even, that is really neat. Impact sounds. There's a randomizer. I've never seen that. Audio stream randomizer. I coded this and I did not know about audio stream. That is a thing. Where is this? What is this? That's something they made, right? Because I can't just create a resource of type audio. If I click on the code for impact sounds, it should give me this property right here. This is actually a Godot built-in. What the fuck? That's fucking cool. What a useful piece of thing to have in an engine. That's got to be new. I would have known about that. I'm just kidding. It's probably like 5 years old. Okay, it's fairly new. It's about a year old. All right. All right. I'll give it a pass. Motherfuckers. That's pretty cool, though. So that's carryable box. Loot chest. This is a good one to look at too because we have basic interaction. That's cool. Okay, that's not too crazy. Interaction component. Clever as fuck. Do they type this with the variant to get parent? No, they do not. Then why does that need to be... I don't actually like that. Already parent node, get parent. Okay, so what type is this? Loot chest, loot drop container. And that is a Cogito container. A container. Right now, we're just exploring other people's code, seeing what we can learn. That's cool. Okay. So this is what I wanted to know. Do they have both the component and the scene in their components folder? They do. This is crazy, though. That's a lot of interactions. I mean, I guess it is an interactive sim, so... A dual interaction. What is a dual interaction? Tell me about that. Hold. I'm going to go to the Cogito docs. Here we go. Raycast interaction says a player controller. Raycast detected. Always read the docs. This is one thing people, including myself, fail to do. I have so many times just jumped right into using something and not read the docs. Only when stocks are consistently useful. Unreals are abysmal in my opinion. That's too bad. Yeah. Well, since we're in Godot land, I get to shill for Godot, and I say that the Godot documentation is bar none the best documentation of any software I've ever used. It is incredible the amount of clarity and convenience packed into one big old package right into the. You can click any of these functions. Integrate forces, click. Physics body state direct, click. Center of mass, anything I need to know. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for a certain type of game, yeah, Unreal is fine, but Godot is better for a lot of different types of games, especially for us who enjoy game dev. Godot makes game dev enjoyable. So, what we're trying to learn from this manual is this strategy here and kind of identify the ones that we need. Cogito turn wheel. This is one, the press and hold interaction. That's cool. A switch, lamps, lever, 2 states, sockets for key objects. Okay. The Cogito keypad. That's cool. Holy God. This would enable creating tools and like pickaxes and stuff. Very good, very good. There is someone like converting this to multiplayer somewhere. We tried it out, it didn't work. The mega lift. And that's one reason we're not using it wholesale. We're just trying to learn from it rather than adopt it. I've got a weapon system in another project too I can pull in. Now, we have there, does it have like a throw component? Oh, this is like hold. Okay, okay, so yeah, so this is like a drawer or a, okay. So when they have the carryable component, where's the throw? Doesn't look like it has a throw. That to me is kind of fascinating. Interaction. Player interaction component. So we see a new interaction. This is a very, very long, this is an extremely long file. That's, well, 500. How long is mine? Mine is 36. Attempt throw. So we have throw on here. Carried object dot throw. But how do you know throw is there? What is the throw function? It's on the I was just on carryable component and it's not here. Am I crazy? Leave. Throw. There it is. It's at the very bottom. Silly. Okay. This is exactly how I do it. That's good. We're not okay. Hold. What are we looking at here? We are looking at a system with that lets you basically build components system to interact with things. So we're learning about how they've structured this thing called a Cogito object that has a carryable component, which allows you to carry the box in space. Let me give it a quick demo here, I guess. But we're learning from this project so we can implement it in our own project, but we don't want to take the whole thing because it's pretty complicated. So I've got collision shapes turned on here as well. So this is probably a little loud, so I'll turn that down. Now we can see that anything we target will turn red and we can read it. That is a readable component button. While under. But the carryable ones, there's some carryables in here. I think there's a cup. We can carry that. Yeah, so we're learning about this carry because we've implemented a system that's similar. The only thing that I'm thinking about is my abstraction layer. And I'm wondering. I have this interact component. I think we need that. Interact area. Kind of like Portal, yeah. So you could make a Portal-like game in this system pretty easy. And it's like they have these like doors and lifts and stuff like that. Gotta love that jitter on there. So that jitter is kind of a noob maneuver. I could talk all day about jitter. I did overall, I guess. Scene transition. Yeah, we're crashing. Oh no, we're not. This part is the craziest part is the strength potion. Smelled Kinney. They've got like that type of inventory here. Oh, great. I'm too weak. I'm strong. Oh, the electrical system, yeah. I don't know what happened. Holy shit, I got on top. Let me out. Nice. Very cool. I hate it. Just kidding. So this is what they do: is they check that the parent node isn't rigid body. That was the answer to my question. How are they on parent node collision? So we actually connect that. Okay. And so now when I go for my buoyancy component in my planning document, check if rigid body parent, what do we say? Alternatively, we just have a buoyant checkbox. I wonder if a buoyant checkbox is better just because we can shortcut it. Interact object. The one part I still don't understand is it gets the interaction nodes. But once it has that, how does it pass the interaction nodes through? Like, let's say in the case of throw, we're tracing the throw, attempt throw. So here we are. Attempt throw is instance valid carry object. So we know that we have handle interaction. Here it is. This is the tough part. Whoa, we got a subscriber in the chat. I know this is quite boring, but I'm thrilled that you find it exciting enough to. What does that say? Okay, yes, that does say Prime. Very well done. Thank you. We are just doing some noodling. We're noodling on stuff. So let me know if you have any questions. We are trying to figure out how handling interactions will work. So if we trigger an interaction. All right, peace. I'm out. First time chat. All right, peace. That's pretty good. That's a good bit. I'm very proud of you. Come back anytime. If you really are leaving, have a great day. If not, stick with me while we implement this real quick. We drop the carried object. Oh my God. It's dumber than you think. Look at this line right here. It's actually that bad. Now, don't tell me that. I'm not telling that this is bad. But I don't think this is good either. But it's saying get the object's parent. Then search that object for any interaction components. And then it says if it has it and it's implemented and it's not disabled, do that thing. And pass my whole ass into it. It passes the whole ass me into it. So I'll take a screenshot here. And we're just going to contemplate our life there. But so in our project, how do we do that differently? Yeah, we do. We actually have a similar strategy. Yeah, this is perfect. There's a fish. Just fish interrupting our problem here. Oh my god, no. The world is... We're in water world. I forgot I removed our land, but I can still fish. In fact, the only thing I can do is fish. Goodbye, fish. It's a good jump. It's kind of scenic. It's kind of vibes, actually, you know? Come back here. No, fish! Mushroom. I actually kind of like that all these like systems kind of like just work together, you know, that it's not the worst. I'm kind of enjoying my swim. This water looks like not the worst. The skybox is kind of fun. So I'll keep those. We'll redo the earth. Okay. Refine the facing on the interact area when in Ragdoll. The question is, should you be able to fish while you're swimming and pick up things and throw things? Like, I'm just floating. Let's catch another fish. The real question is that a fish eats another fish. Is that fishing? Yeah, that's definitely fishing. I think scientifically. Goodbye, fish. I don't want your fish. They're going into the abyss. They're literally going into the infinite depths. Anyone have thalassophobia, the fear of deep oceans? I love how I actually didn't code the fish to jump. I just actually gave the fish low gravity in some cases. That one got away. Yeah, you have thalassophobia, like there's a whole Reddit for it. So if you are scared of oceans, you can go on the Reddit and you can search for the fear of oceans Reddit, and then or fear of deep water Reddit, and then you can, hey, good night, have a good one. You can then use that Reddit to cure yourself of the fear of deep oceans, because you can do exposure therapy. You can just say like, yeah, I'm... Give me that fish. Ah, fuck. We're just ocean fishing. I kind of like it being in ocean. It's kind of cool. We're also going to get this into the browser in a second here. Give me that fish. I got him. Me and the fish hanging about. Me and the fish swimming in the ocean with a mushroom and a fishing pole. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta get some more water. Gotta stretch the water, feed the legs. Ignore the couch. It's a mess. Screw it. Oh. Be free, fish. Goodbye. We've also got to make our fish like swim around. Currently, they don't. Fish swim around when released. Am I dropping any frames? No, pretty good. Oh, wow. Okay. What? Oh, I've got that open in 4.7. Huh. Okay. Nothing changed dramatically here. Is shader. I love deleting stuff. Okay, here we go. Oh no, don't save, don't save. Bullfish. Where are these ground textures? I need to kill them. You. What about the morning sky one? Let's see. What the fuck is that? That's the one we're using, right? Oh, tree? We got rid of the tree, right? Those are nice trees, but not what we're looking for. More deletions. Three error messages. Well, warnings. I don't like this. Okay, that's good. This is tough. Asset manipulation is tough. Two errors. Perfect. Pick a pair by start. Parent body. Pick a parent body. It's nice that I put those warnings in there for myself. So now when we begin our project, we will have a completely clean project. No errors. Perfect. They rapidly sink to the bottom of the floor. That's fine. It's 30 by 30. Sounds fine. So I can't stand on that because collision shape, collision layer. The layer needs to be 2. It needs to exist on 2. Now I'm bumping into it for sure. Yeah. I'm stuck underneath it. There we go. Next. We go to the level editor. And we just swap these. Level dict. Current key equal key. Spawn level. So do I have spawn level happening here? Example is this one. You get the first one in a dictionary. What do you just say first? What the first find key has values. Sure. All right, I'll just do keys then 0. Okay, and then it won't complain. And then I'll just swap these two. Example and lake v1. What is it called? Lake level lake map lake small. Perfect. Perfect. More deletions. More deletions. Yay! I love deleting. I like getting to a point where I feel good about how clean the project is. What did this get flipped? What's going on here? 1,000. What's wrong with this material? Clear. Huh? Where is it? It's something we should be able to see. Oh, it's just hidden. That's the dumbest reason. Let's get a skybox. I'm a sucker for these morning sky ones. It's not working. It wouldn't. It's not bad, except for the fact that you can see all the trees and stuff. So I can't use one like that, huh? So sort of like. Nah, it's good. Okay, so then how do we fix that? So we go like this. We take our sky, and then can't you like, yeah, you can rotate it. You can do like that. What does that look like? Don't get me into environment design. Holy God. It's getting sick. Always just throw a camera in here and just. Use local space. We have exactly one rock we can look at. That's amazing. So what if I did a mesh and it's just a plain mesh or something and it's 2000 and then it's just black. It's always funny how they have metallic on all these textures. So that's kind of cool. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're here to test the interactions. So now that we have our test world set up, we are finally getting to deleting from our player character this is it. We need like a little scratch pad here. So can I create a little MD file here? Use my README. Why not? Don't do this. Do not put a random code block in your README for saving. That's just stupid. I just did it though. We've done a number of sends here. Our project is not going to compile for a while. Hope you guys are okay with that. I'm okay with that. Should we say component interact or interact component? Let's do it like that. Interact object. Interact body. What is this thing? Interact. It's got to be a body. Can't be anything else, right? Has to either be a static or a physical. Interact body. I really kind of like that wording. Then it tells you what you need to do with it, right? I'm pretty sure this one is going to be more clean than the previous one. Interact body. How do you write documentation in this? Godot documentation inline. GDScript comments can be da-da-da-da. You have to do it here. Yeah, mine does not work. All right, let's keep going. We'll come back to that. So we have a carry component. Should we call it a pickup component? I just like to call it a pickup. Why? Carry or pickup? Such a minor thing, but it could be important. Right? Interact area, interact body. I love that phrasing, but I'm just gonna say pickup if I. I'm just gonna always say pickup, right? So I'm gonna go back to the pickup. I'm gonna go back to the pickup component nomenclature. Amazing. I did not mean to test that. But we can at least fix that bug with the new class name pickup component. Oh, this one interact body. Pickup body. Pickup body? It's a pickup body. Pickup. Pickup body. So then we don't need this. We do dependencies of the okay, do that. So let's do our fish first, because that's the most important one, obviously. So fish has some special fish shit, right? But at its core, it's an interactable thing. Or this is tough because now I'm rethinking my body. I think maybe pickup component is its own thing. It doesn't extend pickup body. Pickup body or interact body. It's just going to pass through. So let's think about this again. Interact body. A object that can be interacted with passes, handles current ownership, handles common demand, an abstract. It's abstract. Okay, abstract class. Do whatever you want here because we're just going to handle it. And then we also provide this free convenience function. Interact body is the top level node for any object that can be interacted with. It requires anything with a collision shape, like static body or a rigid body. To a Yeah, I think that makes sense. Provides very basic. How do we? I'm rethinking this whole thing. So then the pickup component does become that childlike thing. And the interact body is more important because then it registers. Or do we have the pickup body be a rigid body? So many ways to structure this, and then all of a sudden we have all that stuff. Then we could extend that even further because I could have another class that extends. Then we're doing inheritance. Is that what we want? I don't know. Might need to go watch that video on composition. My brain is being melted actually in real time because there's another. Could we do something where we pass here and pass here. Delete this. Save. Can we extend interact body? Must implement interact. Okay. That's helpful. Because the other question is that fish could just literally just say like input is action, just press interact. So if you interact on a fish, it could just do whatever it wants. And then we have this whole like sticky situation where now but on the other hand, we move all of the complexity to the interact area if it's a certain type of interactable. Because we're in the case of throw, we're holding a thing down. I gotta go read a fucking book. Video game interaction systems. So that seems like a common pattern what I'm doing, but how do you account for different types of input? Like a hold versus a press. How did they do it? Dual interactions. So you have a different type for dual interaction. All right, so we emit signals for holding and extended pickup interaction. There's so much cool stuff in here. There's a lot to learn. Whole interaction. So when this maybe I need like an escape hatch for custom interactions. On death, drop your object. That's pretty smart. Yeah. I don't think we need to know. We shouldn't. This is fine. Yeah, so in the Where's the input? So the downside here is that maybe we can still just have complex interactions on a thing by thing basis. Because you could take input like click. You don't have to do it. Oh Lord, I've got to clean all this up. Where is the interact input? It's nowhere. I think it was in here. Hey, what are you dropping your next gym tutorial? I don't know. I'm still trying to work. I'm working so hard. I've got a lot of work to do at work, so I kind of slowed down slightly on tutorials because I just don't have time. Just how the truth of the matter is, it's tough out there. But I will try to get to it. I will try. There it is. It's right there. So we're just process. All right, so let's do that. The thing about that is that is action just pressed? Interact. We could just do that. Request interact. Elif. You'll have to get by without me for a little while I work on stuff for work. It's just always going to do that. We don't have a disabled state. Tough out there, man. What are you busy with? I'm just working on, I am a web developer. So I work on internet applications for corporate America, and I'm coding and planning projects all day, and so it's hard to come. Like in the last couple of weeks, work the pace has picked up a lot, so it's hard to balance. So even being on here is very tiring because I'm like, here to help people, here to complete my own code, and I want to stream, I want to make tutorials, I want to work on my projects, I want to stay employed. So that's a long list. Let's actually do that now. Let's say I think we could shortcut that, right? Is disabled. Do we have to say? Sometimes we just overthink. Who doesn't overthink? You could set process. I think we want to set process, right? Because that would. I'm interested. Full stack. Yeah, I am. I'm fairly full stack, but mostly front end web development. So UI, UX, component libraries, things like that. Um, Lots of dashboards, graphs, visualizations. Pretty much anything on the web. But I do have a lot of like CI/CD and testing and cloud experience, so I do a lot of that as well for infrastructure. So yeah. So some people really loved React 3, like they make games in React 3 or 3JS, and you could not make me make a game with any of these JavaScript frameworks. No, you could not. I'm sorry, folks. Y'all out there doing great stuff with it, but holy God, is JavaScript just a doesn't feel like a great language. I'd much rather use GDScript. I mean, it's not that far off, but like the power of the Godot engine is much higher than any of the JavaScript frameworks out there. That's just my opinion. Not that I like have deep experience with them, and people do get a lot done with them. It's just like, yeah, it's a headache. It's so devious. That's not to mention TypeScript. Yeah, I mean, it's a devious language, but TypeScript is better. I do TypeScript for work, and I like it. There's a lot to web development these days, and yeah, static typed. I mean, JavaScript is very Wild West. At least TypeScript kind of keeps it on the rails a little bit, and you have better discoverability in your code. Just inline documentation, that sort of stuff is very valuable, especially working on a huge mono repo with hundreds of other devs. You've got to have TypeScript, or you're in trouble. Got some nice coworkers. I just got a nice message from coworker. But yeah, I've been working like 12, 14-hour days most days, so it's tough. As a web dev, what do you think about AI taking over full stacks, AI slop? Oh God, yeah. I mean, I'm dealing with slop ops at my company. We are highly encouraged to make use of AI tools, and they're really pretty inconsistent in their output, and I think they create a lot of tech debt. Even if you use them well, they create tech debt. But we're currently inundated with a number of essentially vibe coded prototypes. So they're all like internal things that will never see the light of day. Like that's fine, but it's sort of dangerous in terms of our product roadmap. Like because people will see, oh wow, I did this in a day or whatever. Why can't you do this? I was like, well, that's nowhere near production, and if you put it in production, you would cause a catastrophe. So it's hard to explain that and kind of be that person who's a gatekeeper. But at the same time, like we're supposed to be the human in the loop, the person who is responsible for maintaining quality. It's very challenging to do. I don't know that the software is getting any better. Let's combine these. The same. Mm-hmm. Oh, we can just do else here. It's much better. And we need return no matter what, so we always do that. Okay. Seems right. Yeah, I'm not a fan of these AI tools. I'll be the first to say it. I'm definitely praying that they don't get any better. It's a source of anxiety for sure. I'd prefer us to make things that are reliable. What is this? Where are we? This is the pickup component. So that's one argument for having a separate pickup component. This is the way we use it here, as we just drop it in on any, because we could not make the character scenes plushy. Let's just go ahead and 3D him. So this is our character. And I've put a pickup component on this item. Pickup area, pickup component. But I didn't have to make him an interactable to do that, did I? Let's see what I had to do here. It's physical bounce 3D. On body entered, body. Is interact body. And you're so goated. Too bad I couldn't keep up with your stream due to college. Hey, I mean, oh, that's cool. I've got little emotes flying around. That's neat. Uh, hey, yeah, you can always pick stuff back up again. You start, stop. Like, look at me. I took a 2 week break, right? 3 weeks break, even. So you're gonna be able to do it. If you're determined to make a game, you can make a game. I have an interesting wrinkle here where I have an item which is on a player. It's crazy. Okay, that might work. So we've got a buoyancy component that we're trying to make as well. I think maybe we'll build that in. Definitely get rid of these. These are terrible. Tried once at a jiggle bone for just a yeah, you can do that. You just add it right into the skeleton. In fact, this game I'm doing has jiggle bone, and it is in the newest version of Godot. It's called a spring bone simulator. And look at this fish. He's jiggling. And I adjust the springiness of him, and he's ready to go. This is a fishing game that we're making. So this new node is from Godot 4.5, I think, or 4.6, but it's called Springbone Simulator, and you don't need to use a library for it anymore or a plugin. It's right here. And you just pick the bone chains that you want. You just go in here and you say, I want bone 1, bone 2, and that's it. It's that easy. It's a really nice way of doing things. Yeah, 4.5. Yeah. They've been working towards the IK, and what else did I do? I did a fishing rod. I don't know if this will crash, but there he is. The fishing rod is pretty ugly because it's using some like thing that I found, but I made the fishing rod more like still not perfect in terms of how it works, but a mostly believable fishing rod. A little cartoonish. I need to know how to create my own skeleton and stuff. I'm pretty sure I can just make the skeleton in Godot, which is something I had not done before. What I'm going to do is go over to the Godot collision shape here. I'm going to delete this collision shape stays, but this gets deleted right here. And we're going to re-implement that. That's fine. I think we can handle that. And same for this fish here. So we have a fish. This doesn't feel as good when I'm doing the pickup component stuff because I have to. I can't just drop a pickup component on anything. It has to be a certain type of thing that I'm dropping on, so it is immediately less flexible. But what? At the same time, if I have pickup component, and like, how would I do stuff where I want to conditionally? I think this would need to be a pickup interactor object, interactable body, right? And then these two things come in for free. And we can customize this fish. Yeah. We had this whole system working, and now we're kind of tearing it apart and revisiting it. But okay. So we got a rock, and we have a fish. Let's get a couple of fish because they're fun. All right. This is a very simple map. We go in here. We delete all this. That's fine. This add fish system. I think we need to get rid of all of this. How you doing, game dev? We're doing good. I enjoy we can't do all this stuff. Yeah, I mean, you know, part of the thing we do here is we actually teach people how to do it. So if you're interested, we have tutorials on my YouTube, which you can find in the links. And then, you know, if you think you can't do it, I used to think I couldn't do it, but the engine that we're using, it's called Godot, makes things really pretty easy, pretty fun. So for sure. I'm an artist in rigor. Yeah, I agree. So I'm with you in terms of specializing as well. So I'm with you. I choose not to learn how to rig and anime because those are really intense skills, right? So you got to draw the line somewhere in what you can and cannot have time to learn. Yeah, my schedule's fucked up too. It's like, yeah. I would love to do like 3D rigging. We've got like a little character here. He is cute. He's fine. He has only a few bones though. He's only got that many bones. If you want any help regarding character illustration or something, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm not at the stage where I'm looking for any art, but once, you know, I will be on the hunt for an artist when I start to make a game. Right now, I'm just making tutorials, so I tend to use free assets for making game tutorials. The other thing we're doing is we're doing a lot with procedural animation. We're doing inverse kinematics with our fish. So there's a lot you can do. You can even animate with procedural methods. This little guy, he's got a couple of different ways to do that. But so right now we're testing our interactions and we're crash again. Yeah, okay. So prepare player UI. This is a big no-no here. Okay. Okay, we're going crazy on the debugger. What's going on here? Interact secondary, yeah. Okay. Secondary. Interact secondary. I could just call it secondary, right? Isn't there a... Was it throw or something? Let's look at this thing. That's yeah, we gotta rename that. That's gotta be something different. Interact as an E and click. Primary. No, I have primary, right? Primary and secondary, left, right. That makes sense. Do you have any friends or people you interact with who wants and looking for it? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you should get started doing game jams. You should just go do game jams, and then that's a great place to make connections. And there is a Reddit called Find a Team as well. So yeah, what's it called? I need a team. I need a team Reddit. So this is a terrible banner. You should just get them to upgrade their banner. But yeah, you can post on here and find what I miss. We are just completely in the depths of refactoring our interaction system. So we're trying to figure out a name for interact secondary. I think we do what did we call it? Interact secondary. We had throw before. I think we just changed that. E-T click. E or Q? What do you think? Q or T? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really in a position to take on team members right now. I'm so busy. So I can't do anything. We called it interact secondary, but it still doesn't like it. It says throw does not. What is this? Throw or okay, interact secondary. There we go. Okay. I think I hard coded this. Fish related turning fix. Yeah, all good. Have a good one. Okay, so we're not, but we didn't crash. We've got these beautiful fish just hanging out, and they have no collision shape. And the interact is not going away. Oh, I think because the signal names changed. So in the UI, definitely want that. And we want this one. Signal display text signal is holding. So I also need to signal. Yeah, signal display text is the big one here in the player UI. Signal display text. Yeah, I think that's right. I just need that one. And now we can add something on our fish to become interacting. So nothing's happening. That's what we expect. So if I go to fish and we print args, I don't know. Is there anything we're printing there? WebRTC, yes, that's correct. How'd you know? I guess you probably saw my videos. I love it, WebRTC. I think it's great. Oh, I think one thing that this doesn't do is it doesn't call super. Right here, it does. Right here, there. So what about the fish? Does the fish call ready? It does. So what if we call super? Now, what that does is make sure that the fish is on the correct layer for detection of, and he has fish. What is this label? What is that label there? I'm kind of confused by my own code for a moment. When I say interact body, where's the label? Label is a 3D. What's the label? What would that do? Watch all your videos. How could you forget me? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's been a couple weeks. I get a lot of messages sometimes. I will never forget you. Unfiltered Adi. No label. Do we have to have a label? Like an actual physical, factual label? I don't think so. Delete. Fish. Oh, we did it. We're interacting. So the rest of the logic is in actual factual fish. Interact body is therefore fairly simple. That's all it does. It sets the collision layer value of 5. It's very, very simple. And then the other thing you can keep track of is a list of components that can be interacted with, right? That's the other thing you can do. Have you played Satisfactory? Man, that is one time-consuming game. I have. I really loved Satisfactory. They did a fantastic job with that game. It's also a kind of a technical marvel. It's very difficult to make a game like that because of all the compute and processing you have to do. It's very hard. Very impressive game. I need to go back and play it again. I played it a couple times. I played it for like, I don't know, like 80, 100 hours. I've also played the 2D version, the Factorio, which is very good. It's always fun to hook up resources and make it and have a game like that. That's a pretty impressive game. Okay. That's what's going to happen right there. Sea Mechanics, yeah. My Industry is a good one. I've never heard it. Yeah, I haven't seen My Industry, but yeah, a factory game would be fun to make. Maybe a very simple one. Yeah, it looks like Factorio a little bit, yeah. This is $9? Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I thought about making a game like that, a tower defense or um yeah, it's just kind of like an incremental game is another. So let's rename this again. Pick up component. All right, this is looking good. And we will attach pickup component here. Okay. Okay. So none of these matter. This not being on a body is a little awkward now. I gotta think about this. You can apply shaders, yeah, that's cool. There's a lot of nice shaders, like Godot shaders has a bunch of nice ones I've used before. I just like to browse the most liked shaders. Water shaders are fun. Kind of making a defense type game where you have to defend your region by gathering resources, make walls and turrets and other tools. Yeah. Before the opposite team. Oh my gosh, yeah. That sounds fun. Classic gameplay. Oh wow. I've tried to make a game like that. It ended up spiraling out of control because it was too big of a game for me to make. That's what happens with a lot of my games that end up, oh gosh, this is too much, and then I break it up and destroy it and put it into a tutorial. This is kind of cool. Holy shit. Seen the hologram effect a lot. Splat mapping canvas item. Mission ring. Yeah, that's from N64. Yes. This is the one that I wanted to try. Give me a that's really cool. 32 players in a lobby, very complex. Yeah, that's gonna be fun though if you can get it to work. It's gonna be fun. Could be a good one. What I think I need to do here is I need to hop off for the night. I've been on a couple hours, but do not worry, I will be back. I will be back tomorrow. I will be back Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to be streaming probably more regularly. I'm going to make some progress on this offline and kind of fix this up, and hopefully we'll break it down and show what we did later. So I will talk to y'all later. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see y'all soon. Good luck with making your game.